JAE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but who is he? When I say that, I mean, like, what does he do? What's his goal?
So let me go to the messages.
Why are you laughing, Gary?
Obvious,
Hmm.
fucking obvious facial expressions.
Me? That's funny. I be accidentally reacting to shit with my face. That shit tragic.
So
Bro, you should
so
you should see me and him conversing on some of these calls. He'll say some sarcastic shit, and he'll say it with a straight face, and it'll go right over somebody's head. It's insane. All right, what'd you say for us?
he said he just wants to lose weight and tone down. I was like, okay, I can help with that. I was like, why do you want to achieve those goals? And he said, I don't like my body, and sometimes I feel disgusted, and I want to be skinny, and I'm going to a HBCU, and I want to look good, and you seem like the type of person to get me, into shape. And then I said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you've been struggling with that, and I can honestly relate to that because I've once felt disgusted about myself as well. And I said, but so do you think right now is the right time to change that? And have you ever had a coach? And it's like I've had a coach before, but my coach molested me, so I have trauma and scared to open up. And can you send me the link to book the appointment, the schedule?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, I can assure you that you won't ever have to worry about any of that going on with me. I know it's hard to open up because of your trauma, but you don't have to be scared to, open up to me. I'm here to help you change your life so you can, start liking yourself again and be more comfortable in your own skin. And it's like he's like, yeah, I'll book the schedule, and he booked the call for 2:30, and I told him to go on the link again and rebook it for a later time because I just started a job and getting out at 3 p.m. And he just told me that he's ready to pretty much change, get started with the coach. And right now I'm waiting on a response.
Yeah, well, dude, I don't know, like when you were texting me and you're like, I need to figure it out in the app. Like, I didn't understand what you're talking about. Like, bro, just
Oh, like on the
find a
the
time
calendar
that's
app.
free this evening, and then just send the Zoom link. Like,
Yeah, I actually just recently sent over the Zoom link again, and I told him like my
well, how
available
are you sending the Zoom link
times.
and you're not getting on the call? That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to find a time that y'all are both free and send the Zoom link at that time.
Okay, so
Because
I
you're
got
not on that Zoom link. You're not on that Zoom link. So if he clicks
to
it, nobody's gonna be there.
unless I'm there and signed in, right, for the Zoom.
Yeah, unless y'all are. But that I'm saying it doesn't make sense to just send it now if you're not on it.
Yeah, I know. I told him like five or 7 p.m. would be the best times.
But you need to like pick a time. What time are you free? 5 o'clock. All right, we're going to do five. Like five, seven. Like just
Yeah, that's cool. I can do
yeah,
five. That's
just
why I gave him those
okay.
options.
So which one did you pick?
I'm waiting on him to respond now.
Okay, so you just said pick 5 or 7.
Yeah.
Bet. Too easy. All right. So talk me through like what the goal of the sales call is.
So I mean, the goal is to do the phase, and after the phase, go
The
through
what?
the discovery.
The phase.
You know the stages, the beginning of the stages,
Yeah. So what is
like
that?
walking them through. So you want me to just like walk, just walk through it?
I want you to walk me through the different phases.
Okay. So basically, I'd be like, "Hey, Ajay, I'm glad we got to connect today. How's your day going?" And then says, "Hey, my day is going good." Then I'll be like, here's how I like to run these. I'm going to ask you a few questions, get a feel for where you're at, and if I think I
I
can
don't
help,
want you reading the script. I don't want you doing that. That is the last thing I want you doing.
so you don't want me to just kind of just go off of him.
You need to be able to yeah, like I want you to be able to reference the script, but you don't need to be reading the script because he is going to be able to tell that you're reading the script.
Okay,
You want it to feel like a conversation, right? That's why I'm asking you what the different phases are because I need you to understand these phases in order to be able to take somebody through them without having to read the script.
gotcha. Mm,
All right. So what? All right. All right.
yeah.
So we got pre-frame, discovery, pitch, price, objection handle. Right. These two are kind of the same, but you want to get a belief tie down before you move to the price. So, all right. Pre-frame. Talk me through the pre-frame. What does that look like?
Pre-frame. So pretty much if what I was just kind of going through was the pre-frame. Was
That's building rapport, which you don't necessarily have to do.
Say that again.
That was building rapport, which you don't necessarily have to do.
Gotcha. Okay. Um. Well, I pretty much just like so. What made you reach out today? What's really going on? Asking them.
That's the discovery, right? So the pre-frame is you laying the frame for the call. It's you setting the tone for the call. It is you establishing yourself as an authority, right? So, um, yes, I really just want to get on this call to talk through what you're trying to achieve, um, where you're at, what's been holding you back, and then if I feel like I can help, we'll talk through what working together would look like, and then if we're a good fit, we'll go ahead and get you started today. Cool,
Okay, that makes sense.
right? Laying out the frame of the call. Um, what what tie down did I just get? You got a 33% chance of getting it right.
Mm, you just did the pre-frame.
I said, what tie down did I just get?
Your
The
your options are on the screen.
the time and urgency and belief.
Yeah, which one did I just get?
The belief.
Dude, turn this camera off. No, so let's go through it again. Yes, so I just want to get you on this call so we can go through like what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and then if I feel like I can help, we'll talk through what working together would look like. And then if we're a good fit, we'll go ahead and get you started today. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's good.
Bet. So which one of those did I just get?
The timing.
Yeah, because how would I get belief and you don't know anything about what I said,
Right.
right? Urgency, there's no pain. If there's no pain or there's no logic behind the decision, which the logic would be built in the discovery phase, there's no urgency, right? So it's impossible for me to get urgency belief or urgency tie down or belief tie down because we're not that far in the call, right? So that's a timing tie down, and fuck, you're gonna get this a couple different times throughout the call, but this is the most important that you're getting it at the beginning of the call because if they say no, I need to wait, then you need to handle that before you move forward, or you're gonna waste your time. on the call, right? All right. So what is the goal of the discovery phase of the call?
Oh shit. So what basically like asking them what made them reach out to the call.
Actually, let's say here. I want to make sure you got this. Let me hear you say. So first, before you say it, like, what is the goal of this? The pre-frame.
So am I like pretty much pretending to be like as you're the coach and I'm the
No, no. I just want you to tell me what the goal of it is first.
is to get them to get their pain points out and the whole reason of why they want to change their
The pre-frame. What I just the first part that I just said. I just gave you.
oh if to find out if we're a good fit to work together.
No, no. To lay the frame for the call, to establish authority, um, to tell the person what the call is going to look like. So you're assuming control of the call, right?
Okay. For authority.
You're establishing yourself as the authority throughout the call, or at the beginning of the call, right?
Okay.
And then you're just giving them a guideline on what the call is going to look like so that they have the right expectations moving throughout the call. All right, so let me hear you say that.
Wait, could you say that again?
Yeah, so the goal of the pre-frame is to establish authority and to lay out what the call is going to look like so that they have realistic expectations and they know what you're going to do throughout the call, if they know the end state, if everything aligns, if it doesn't. Um, so, yeah, you're essentially establishing the left and right limits of the call and what the call looks like, and it's you establishing yourself as the authority as you start the call, right, off rip. You're telling them what the conversation is going to look like, how it's going to go, if it works out, if it doesn't work out, um, and how you'll proceed if it does or doesn't.
So pretty much I'm just gonna ask you a few basic questions just to see get a good feel and see where we're at. And if you feel like we're a good fit, we can talk more about what that looks like.
No, I'm asking you but before you try that, because there was deficiencies in that I just heard that we need to address. But before you even get there, I want you to tell me what this is, like what the goal of this is. It's one
I guess
thing
I'm
for me to just give you words to repeat, right? It's another thing for me to teach you how to sell. I don't care if you can repeat the words that I give you to repeat. I want you to understand how to sell. In order for you to understand how to sell, I need you to understand what each of these phases is and what they're meant to do. So I want you to explain to me what this phase of the call is meant to do.
so
Stanton,
basically
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
basically to get get the authority and see where things align and just kind of go from there.
Stanton, what do you think? I know this may be your first time hearing it. I don't know. I know you have done a lot of stuff, but like,
I'll
what
repeat
did you
that
get?
question one more time.
I said, what like from what I just explained, like how would you explain like the pre-frame at the beginning of the sales call?
Well, basically, you want to establish yourself as the reason why whatever their pain point is will be remedied. Like you said, establish yourself as the key figure, as the agent of change, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
So pretty much, I'd be the reason of why they got motivated.
and that's
Way.
I mean that's more so like discovery and pitch, but um, more so just the authority on the call, right? Because you're guiding them through what the call is going to look like. Um, Javi, do you want to offer an explanation maybe so
Sure.
it'll be clearer for
Yeah.
everyone?
So he's pretty much just asking like what exactly are you trying to accomplish with the pre-frame, which is extremely simple. It's just setting the expectation of the call, which essentially sets you as the authority, right? Because you're setting the expectation of the call. So they're gonna follow your lead, right? That kind of lets them know like we're not just having some like random conversation. Like there's an objective here.
Okay.
So that's what sets you as the authority. But pre-framing is essentially just setting the expectation of the call to the person you're on the phone with, you're on the call with. And that makes you the authority.
That makes
Then
Makes
sense.
at the end
sense.
of that, does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then at the end of that, what we're going to say, you get the
At the
time.
end of that, you get your timing tied on, which is just if everything makes sense, we get you started today, or however you want to word that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you went into what that sounds like for you, something that you said that was a red flag for me was that if you decide that we're a good fit, right, that automatically positions them as a decision maker, them as the authority, and you lose leverage when you make them the authority, right? So you want to say, if I feel like we're a good fit, because ultimately they need you, you don't need them, right? You see it. You see how changing that one word makes a big difference,
Yeah.
just in the positioning. If
Yeah.
they decide, then they are above you. If you decide, then you are above them, right? There's a hierarchy. You need to position yourself as higher ranking than them, which is literally just changing one word. They decide, and you decide, right? All right. So let me hear that again. Your pre-frame.
So here's how I like to run these. I'm just gonna ask you a basic few questions about um, what got you on the call with me today, and why do you want to achieve your fitness goals, and if you feel like if I think we're a good fit, I can talk about the further plans, what that looks like.
You're missing this. You see my screen? You're missing this.
Who are you telling us to?
He's talking to Forrest.
Oh, what'd you say?
Said you're missing this.
Missing what?
You're missing this. Can you see my screen?
Timing.
Missing
Um,
this. You didn't get this.
the timing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel like I can help you, I can share what those may look like.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the timing?
No.
Yeah, I'm ass, bro.
Well, the good thing is it can't get any worse, right? So, like, is this going to be your first call?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be your first call, right? I always tell people my first call, selling this nigga for $3,000, like bump the price down all the way down to like 500. He still didn't take it. I was going to take $100, like, you know what I
Damn.
mean? So you just got to get into it, right? But like we also need to be like fucking intentional and like what these different phases are and things like that. So can you actually see the screen right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm listening, Dylan.
No, I didn't say anything. But yeah, if we're a good fit, we'll get started today. If we're a good fit, we'll get started today.
We can get started today.
Right. Yeah, so let me hear you do it again.
So, I'm just gonna ask you a basic few questions on why what got you on the call today, and to see where you're at on your fitness goals, and if I feel like we're a good fit, we can get started today.
Can you guys see what I'm highlighting? Like, can you see my
Yeah, get
screen?
confirmation.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think we would be a good fit? Like, what I
No.
mean,
So what you said is fine. Just at the end, just you could just be like, sounds good or fair enough. That way they
uh,
have to acknowledge your
read the
state. Like,
response and
yeah,
shit.
sounds good.
Okay. Basically, if we'll be a good fit. Does that sound good to you?
It's after the timing tie down. See if we'll be a good fit is not a timing tie down until you say get you started today.
Got you. Okay, so basically just gonna be on here to ask you a few questions about your fitness goals and see where you're at. And if I feel like we're a good fit, we can get you started today. Does that sound good to you?
Yep, perfect. Boom. All right. So now we're to now we're to the discovery. So what is the goal of this?
So what made you get on the call today? What's really going on?
Yeah, but what are you trying to accomplish in this phase of the call?
To get their pain.
Right. So you're trying to create a gap between their desired end state and their current state, right? And then you're trying to identify any bottlenecks keeping them from this, keeping them from this to this, right? And the reason I put desired end state first is because we start off with figuring out what they're trying to accomplish or their goal, right? And then we move into the bottlenecks, current position, the pain. And then the reason we do that is because we want them to be high and to verbalize everything that they want to achieve. And then we want to break that down and then pull out the pain right before we pitch, right? Because that's when the urgency is going to be the highest, when they're in pain, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they flip it and they go from current state to desired end state. But the issue is that if the pain is in the current state and then we put desired end state right before the pitch, the urgency is left because they're not in pain anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes more sense.
Okay. So talk me through this. What does this look like as far as the scripting, the questioning? Um,
As far as which one?
like the discovery.
Okay. So basically seeing, what's been really going on and how long they've been dealing with it. Um, what have they tried before, and why didn't it work? And
So the first thing you need to figure out is their goal, right? What are they looking to accomplish? Um, so start off with goal, right? Are you wanting to lose
fitness goals.
30 pounds Are you actually, you want to lose 30 pounds? Or you want to shrink your waist? Are you want to
Build muscle.
build muscle? Are you wanting to be healthier? Right. And those are the big things when it comes to fitness. Is it's usually either going to be a health thing or a vanity thing, right? They either want to be healthier and live longer, or they want to look better. Health or vanity, like those are the two different sides. Now, ideally, it's both, right? Because the big pillars that you need to hit are health, holy fuck, health, wealth, and relationships. Right. So health, live longer, feel better when they're walking up the stairs, um, not be as sluggish. Wealth, um, the like if people's perception of them, right? So like when they walk in rooms, they're more likely to get promotions because they're more confident. They perform better, so they make more money, right? That's how you can tie wealth into this. People trust people that are in better shape. Relationships. So a lot of these men or women, they haven't been able to get the women that they want, or the men that they want, or haven't been able to get anybody, right? Because they're fat or super skinny, right? So you want to tie it back to this. But the biggest thing is you want to get as many goals, as not as many goals, but the most important goals to them, right? That fall into these three things, and then it's why. You need to figure
Yeah.
out like what the real why
Keep getting
is.
deeper with it.
Right, because a lot of times it'll be a very surface level answer. So, for example, if somebody wants to lose 30 pounds, that's not enough, right?
Mhm.
Why do you want to lose 30 pounds? Well, I just don't like the way I look. Okay, well, why do you not like the way I look? And then you get them to verbalize, like, all of the deficiencies in them. And
Yeah,
then what
just
you do is you get them to paint their ideal physique, right? What does your ideal physique look like? Like if you had to paint it out to me, right? Like I want you to envision it. I want you to explain to me what that looks like, right? Do you have no love handles? What do your shoulders look like? What do your thighs look like? What do your glutes look like? What does your chest look like? Right? They're envisioning the perfect version of themselves, right? That gets them to the desired end state when you get them to verbalize all these things, right? And then it's
yeah.
like, okay, so what has been holding you back from getting there? And I kind of have this in the beginning, because I do ask a lot of like whys when I figure out like what their goal is. Um, but before I move forward into like struggles and bottlenecks, um, I always figure out like what this is. Like, what are you looking to accomplish? Like, are you looking to shrink the waist? Are you looking to be healthier? Okay, well, you want to lose 30 pounds, or you want to be healthier. You want to lose 100 pounds because you feel like you're going to die early and get diabetes, etc. Okay, why? I have kids, I have grandkids, all these different reasons, right? And you're building ammo so that once you get to this phase of the call, you can bring it back up, right? Um, Somebody doesn't want to pay $3,000. They also don't want to die early. What's more important, you $3,000 or being able to stay around for your kids for
Yeah.
an extra 10, 20 years, right? You want to be able to reference everything that you get here. So a lot of y'all, you don't go deep enough here. So when it comes to this, it makes it very difficult for you because you're not getting deep enough in the discovery phase. Because ideally, you've pre-handled every objection that you could possibly get, so that once you get here, it's just a logistical problem rather than an actual objection, which typically those will be timing, finances, or belief. Just a finance objection. Um, okay. So So talk me through the goal of the discovery phase. Like, what are you trying to do here?
Basically, figuring out what their goals and why are they trying to achieve those goals.
Okay, but deeper. Like yes, you are, but like emotionally, like what are you trying to do
Um, Basically, get the deepest pain points as possible
in order to do what?
to find out why they're why they're on the call and trying to make changes now.
Okay, so you got three tie downs that you can get, right? Which one are you trying to get with this phase of the call?
Belief,
Okay, explain that to me. Why you think?
getting them to believe that they can do it, achieve these goals, and believing that I can help them get there.
So in the, but you're not explaining your, but you're not giving your offer during this phase of the call.
No, I thought the
So how
offer
would
is
you do
that,
that? Yeah. So how would you do that if you're not explaining what you do in this phase of the call?
well, the offer would be at last, right?
Right. So how would it be belief if you're not giving your offer in this phase of the call?
Uh, so it would still be timing. Wouldn't be finances, right?
It'd be urgency.
Oh shit, I was looking at the ones above it. Shit, my bad.
It'd be urgency, right? You're trying to create urgency here, right? Timing, urgency, belief. Those are the three things we need for somebody to buy. It's the
Tight.
right time. Um, I need to solve this now, really yesterday, fucking 5 months ago. And I believe that you are the person to help me solve it. I can see how those two kind of sound similar, but somebody can have urgency and still feel like next week is a better time to start.
Yeah, keep pushing it back.
Yeah, I mean, not, yeah. But, anyways, all right. So, at the end of the discovery phase, right? So, typically it's like goal, biggest struggle. How long have you struggled with that for? Why do you feel like now is the time to start? What do you feel like is going to happen if you don't start, right? Consequences. Um, and it's like, all right, so you feel like now is the time to go ahead, pull the trigger, and make this change that you've been putting on for 20 years. What tie down am I getting with that question?
The belief.
It's the same one, brother.
Oh, urgency
The
still.
urgency. Yeah. Javi, how? So Javi, how about you try to explain it in the best way that you can?
Sure. Yeah. So with the discovery, right, you're not gonna get too much. I mean, you can, but I don't want to get into that, right? The belief ultimately, for them to believe in you, they need to know what you do. So you're not gonna get that in discovery because you haven't told them what you do yet, right? Up to that point. So it won't be belief. And so you want to get some type of urgency. That's the urgency tie down, right? Which is what Dylan just went over. As far as like, do you feel like now's the time to actually, like take the action towards your goal or put yourself in a
Yeah,
position to actually achieve these goals? You want a yes. You want like now's the time. Because if they
now's the
say
time.
no, if they say no, or if they give you like a shaky answer, all that's gonna happen is at the end of the call, you see where right here you have objection handling and you have timing, you're gonna get a timing objection because you didn't handle the urgency during the discovery. Right. So the point of the discovery is to figure out where they're at, where they want to be, where they're at, and then create a big enough gap to where they feel the need to be urgent about their situation.
Okay.
Because you need them to be urgent because you're trying to like close them at the end of the call.
Mm,
If they're not urgent, if they're not ready to move, or if they don't feel like now's the time, you won't be able to close them because you're going to get a timing objection. And you won't be able to handle that. Rather than if you get the urgency tied on and they're like, yeah, I do feel like now's the time to do this. And you ask why and they tell you why. Then at the end of the call, if they're like, hey, I feel like now's not the right time, you could be like, no, that's not true because earlier you told me it was.
hmm.
Is that making sense?
Yeah, so it's basically you're trying to avoid them from doing the objection.
Correct. Correct. But that comes at the end of discovery because you need to build up a big enough gap. If you do it too soon and you haven't built a big enough gap, they're not going to feel the need to be urgent.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right.
What
So talk me through the line of questioning for the discovery phase. Like, of course, there's going to be questions in between, but what does that look like?
So how long have you been, what's been going on? How long have you been struggling with that? Um, how long have you, I mean, what have you tried to to change that?
Okay. What should be the first question?
What to talk about where they're at.
What is this?
The discovery phase.
This is desired end state, bottlenecks, current state.
Desired state, current state. Okay.
Desired end state. That's first. So, what do you think you need to add to the front end of the call?
Mhm.
You start off at struggle. Which of these three things does struggle sound like to you? You phrased it as like what's going on, but I'm assuming you meant what are you struggling with?
Yeah. What yeah, what are you struggling with?
So which of these three things does that sound like to you?
A bottleneck.
Right. So how do we pull out the desired end state?
Figuring out why they're struggling with it, right?
desired end state is basically the goal. It's their goal. It's the
Okay,
goal,
so
what they're trying to achieve.
what are your goals and what are you trying to achieve and
What are you
why are
looking
you
to
trying to
accomplish?
achieve it?
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Then we move to the struggles. Then we try to widen the gap, right? How long have you struggled with that for? And then we set up the urgency tie down. So, like, why do you feel like now is the time to start? Consequences of not starting. Um, and when you're verbalizing this, like, what do you feel like is going to happen if you don't lose these 100 pounds? You need to, whatever they're trying to achieve, whatever their goal is, you need to verbalize that with that. So, like, what do you feel like is going to happen if you don't put on 20 pounds of muscle? What do you feel like is going to happen if you don't lose this 50 pounds, if you don't lose this 100 pounds, um, if you don't get in shape to become the quarterback of the 30U football team? Um, like, you just want to put that out there, right? So, um, all right. Once we transition, and does this making sense to everybody? Like Stanton, Hayden. Yeah. All right, bet. All right, y'all got to turn y'all's cameras on, bro. Me and Javi not finna. We look at each other all day.
That's real.
O'Shea is not tracking because he just asked the question. I don't know why he's saying tracking. Nigga is behind, like months behind.
Yeah.
Fuck. Tracking. Nigga, no, you're not.
Funny. That is funny. Now Forrest turned the camera off. How'd that work?
No, I'm still here, brother.
The camera is off.
Yep.
All right. So now we're moving from discovery to pitch, right? All right. So what tie down did we just get?
The urgency.
Right. And if you want to get froggy and you want to be a little higher level, you can be like, all right, so like, why not tomorrow? Why not next week? Why not next month? And then they'll give you all the reasons why they shouldn't wait. Right. Well, I've been putting it off long enough. If I wait until tomorrow, it's going to be the same because that's what they're going to say. I need to think about it. I need to wait at the end of the
Yeah.
call. Right. So you get them to beat the objection for you. They're giving you the reason why they should not wait until tomorrow, until next week, until next month, etc. Right. After you pulled all the pain, and now you're moving to the pitch. So what are the three pillars?
You said what are the three pillars?
Mm-hmm.
It's mm, honestly, I'm lost, man. Lost on the pitch.
Have you watched my sales calls?
Yeah, some of them, not all of them. Looks like I need to watch some more.
All right. Three pillars: workouts, nutrition, accountability. Now, when you're pitching these, you need to go into how it solves their problem, deliverables, right? So, somebody that wants to lose 30 pounds, how does working out solve their problem?
I mean, it's gonna take. I mean, more than just the workouts. You're gonna come up with a nutrition plan as well.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking workouts. How does working out solve their problem?
Uh, Helps them lose weight
But how?
by getting up and going to the gym.
All right. So let's think about the different goals people have, right? One being like vain, one being health wise, right? All right. So if somebody's wanting an aesthetic physique, they need to build muscle, right? Not only do they need to build muscle, they need to build muscle in the right areas. So knowing what to do, how to do it, how much of it to do, so that they can build muscle in those areas to have their ideal physique. That is how working out is going to solve that problem, right? Somebody that wants to lose weight, the more muscle they have, the faster their metabolism is. The easier it is to lose weight because they can eat more food and still lose weight because their metabolism is faster. Their body burns more calories on autopilot. That is how working out solves that problem, right? Then deliverables. What do they get? Okay, you're going to have a workout plan. I have an app, and in the app program all your workouts, videos how to do the workouts, amount of reps, amount of sets. All you have to do is go to the gym and do it. Even if you can't go to the gym, I can put in workouts for you to do at home. If you're traveling, I can put in workouts for you to do at a hotel gym. So there's never an excuse not to work out, right? So you can do it wherever, whenever, on your time. You still get the same guidance because you can upload videos and I can correct your form in the app. So you're getting everything you're going to get from in-person trainer, but for every day of the week instead of 2 to 3 days of the week, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let me hear you try.
So basically, we're just going to talk about the workouts and coming up with workout plans for you.
Was that it?
Um, I'm sure I'm probably missing some more shit.
Well, that was like 2 sentences. That was like one sentence.
So we're going to talk about the coming up with some workout plans and
Well, what do you mean we're going to talk about? Like, this is you talking to them.
okay, so we're going to talk about how you're
We're going to
how
talk about cut accent. That's like a filler phrase that you're using. We are talking about it.
so we're talking about the problems that are going.
Accent. Stop saying it. Stop saying that phrase. We are talking about it. We are in the conversation. So this
Okay,
is you pitching.
we are talking about.
No, I don't want you to say it all at all. I'm telling you that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So I transition from the discovery to the pitch. So let's go through what working together would look like. I break it down to 3 pillars. You have workouts, nutrition, accountability. As far as the workouts go, it's important for a couple of reasons. How it solves their problem, then deliverables. So let me hear that bridge between the discovery to the pitch, and then let me hear the workouts. All right, Javi's never sold fitness in his life. Javi, let me hear the bridge from the discovery to the pitch and how you would pitch the workouts. Make the pitch up.
Okay. So I'd probably be sounding like after I get the tie down, I'd be like, yeah. So I break down what I do into 3 pillars, right? I have workouts, nutrition, and accountability. So I'll break each one of those down for you. First thing we start off with is the workouts, right? Making sure you're going into the gym with a plan, knowing exactly what you need to do. And so obviously the workouts are important for you because you mentioned feeling lost and not knowing exactly what you need to do. And so we have workouts, um, sets, reps, all that's tracked within an app. That way it's easy to find, exactly where to go, exactly what to do. And then obviously there's probably more deliverables in there. I'm going off the top of my head, but
Yeah, he's just kind of slinging it, but he also hasn't went through the modules or anything and doesn't have a script pulled up. So, all right. So nutrition, how it solves their problem. How does nutrition solve their problem?
um, Nutrition coming up, helping you coming up with a nutrition plan.
How
Um,
does it solve their problem? Right. Somebody that wants to lose weight, somebody that wants to gain weight, they need to be in a calorie deficit, they need to be in a calorie surplus. That's what it comes down to. All right. Calories in, calories out.
or like a fitness pal or some shit like that, like the app.
No, you're building the meal plan, bro. You're building the meal plan, bro. You're building it out for them. Like, yeah, they can use that to track, but you're like, my fitness pal isn't really built.
Making their meal plan, coming up with different meal plans for them.
Right. But you're explaining how nutrition solves whatever their problem is. Right. And because you're providing it, this is the pitch, these are your deliverables, this is what you're giving to them. So a lot of people, they try to sell an app. They try to sell MyFitnessPal. They try to sell EverFit Trainerize. You're not selling that. You're selling what you give to somebody, right? How you're going to help them change their life. How you're going to help them get the transformation, right? So when it comes to nutrition, if you want to lose 100 pounds, at the end of the day, it's just food. I can help you lose weight without working out at all, right? Now, what I do a little different is I take the whole foods that you like eating and I make your meal plan based around that. That way, you're able to do it long term. Because I'm assuming, like, I don't know if you're a picky eater, but I'm a picky eater, right? So I'm assuming you don't just want to eat fucking chicken and rice for the rest of your life, chicken, broccoli, and fucking zucchini and shit. No, and I was selling to mostly overweight black women. Yeah. So LGBTQ hobby.
I was about to say, mention it all.
um, so so you have to figure out like what unique lever you can pull that your ideal client is going to like, right? So it's like with the nutrition, being able people being able to eat the foods they like and still losing weight. That's the lever that most fitness coaches will pull that will attract a lot of people. So what I do a little different is I take the whole food and I emphasize the whole foods that you like eating and I make your meal plan based around that. I'm not just gonna make you a meal plan and say follow this. I'm gonna figure out what foods you like and then build it around that. Um, yeah, and then what? Yeah. So and then I distinguish it. What I do a little different is, and I explain that. Um, yeah, that's it. I mean, it pretty much summed it up. Yeah. So as far as the nutrition goes, and this is essentially what I'll say when I would pitch nutrition. Um, yeah. So as far as the nutrition goes, that's 90% of it. Like you don't. I could help you lose weight without working out at all. Like, do I want you to work out? Yes, it's beneficial for other reasons. I'm gonna tell you to work out, but this is the biggest key. Like, this is the driver. This is the needle mover. Now, what I do a little different is I take the whole foods that you like eating and I make your meal plan based around that. Because what I see is most people either A, come to me from an in-person trainer that doesn't do nutrition, or B, they come to me from another online coach. Now, most online coaches give really cookie cutter meal plans. Now, the problem with a cookie cutter meal plan is if you do not enjoy the foods that you're eating, you're not going to follow it. And if you do follow it, you're not going to follow it long term. And I'm assuming this is something that you want to do long term and not for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, right? It's a lifestyle change you're wanting to make, yeah. Yeah, so I design it. I've designed it in a way that makes it sustainable for you, so that you can do it long term. Does that make sense? Yeah. Um, Too easy. Move to the accountability piece.
And so for the nutrition, what I like to do for the nutrition is I like to come up with a nutrition plan for something that that you're interested in eating, and as far as different switching up the meal plans for you, so that way you don't get stuck up on the same meal plan and getting tired of it. There'll always be something new that you might like to get to try and stuff like that.
What do you think, Javi?
Yeah, I mean, you also want to tie it to what their goal is, right? So if they're trying to gain weight and trying to lose weight, that nutrition piece would look a little different as far as putting them in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit and explaining why that's important, like towards what they're trying to achieve as well. So I'd probably incorporate something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
So like for instance, like so if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, um, I can come up with a nutrition plan to help you lose as much weight as possible by eating a lot of fruits and other healthy meals as far as like chicken and um, other different meals and stuff like that of of what you would like.
yeah, you don't need to get too detailed either, right? Just keep it simple, straight to the point, right? If you add too much detail, like you're gonna confuse yourself, you're gonna confuse.
Yeah,
Just be like, hey, second pillar is nutrition. Point of this to build a nutrition plan around your goals and exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? So the goal for you is gain 30 pounds. You want to be able to bulk. That means we need to put you in a calorie surplus and make sure you're eating whole foods that you actually enjoy. That way you're able to stick to it and not give up on the meal plan or go back into bad eating habits. right? And then you, as far as the deliverables, like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to write out that meal plan for you. You have a meal plan every week, and every week or so, I'll be able to change up the meal plan, make sure you don't get bored of the foods you're eating.
Yeah, and I can't stress how important it is to like to have product knowledge. Like you need to understand what you're selling. If you can't verbalize this and you can't explain what you're giving it to or giving to them, like why would they buy from you? Right? If
All
you
right.
can't explain what how you're gonna pull certain levers in the nutrition or you're gonna pull certain levers in the workouts, like they're not gonna want to buy because they're gonna be like this nigga doesn't know what he's talking about. Right? So same thing with us selling B to semi B2B, right? Like if we can't verbalize what we're selling and the different levers we can pull in somebody's business in order to the different levers we can pull in somebody's business in order to um, help them scale, right? Then they're not going to trust us. So I have no doubt Stanton um, was on a call with O'Shea, and me and Ryan have been talking since April. But when I got on, I don't even know if he's still on here. He is. But when I got on the call, the verbiage I was using, the acumen I was using, I have no doubt that when you guys heard me speak, you're like, all right, this nigga knows what he's talking about. And it was probably a little different than when O'Shea was speaking. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stanton. Maybe I'm glazing myself.
It was correct. You definitely dotted some I's for us for sure.
Yeah, so you need to have clarity on what you're selling, and that looks like not only coming here learning this stuff here, but going out and doing your own research. Like I've paid over $50,000 to different mentors, and I still go and watch free shit on YouTube. Javi, he's watching fucking Jeremy Haynes, Cole Gordon. He's trying to become more business minded, to develop more business acumen, and to understand more about the space, so that when he gets on these calls, um, he's able to dissect people's businesses more efficiently and give them the different levers that can be pulled in order to make them more money. You watching Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson be for real.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. When you're walking them through, because the pitch is you essentially telling them what you do and why it solves their problem, right? So if you're very like uncertain in your language, or you're using a lot of filler words, or you're making it very complicated, like they're not going to trust that. It just doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about. So they won't trust you. Like at the end of the call, they're about to give you thousands of dollars. Like if you're uncertain about what you're talking about, or you're not confident, like they won't, they're not going to pay you ultimately.
Yeah, like when you know what you're talking about, you're gonna be confident. Because I'm not the best like public speaker or just the best speaker in general, but when I get on these sales calls, they run pretty fucking fluid because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? I'm confident and I can speak with authority because I know what I'm talking about. If I didn't, then I would be second guessing myself and be fucking stuttering and shit. And I already do that shit. Even when I do know what I'm talking about, so it'd be 10 times worse. So if you want to be more confident, you need to understand what you're selling more in depth. Um, but all right, and then the accountability piece, what that looks like essentially is um, the way that I explain it is at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what kind of plan you have. You can chat GPT a plan. All the information that you need, you can find online for free for whatever you want to do. Building a business, working out, like anything you can find for free. But most people, they don't just need the information. They need help with the implementation. They need somebody to hold them accountable and actually get them to execute this shit, right? All this sales training, the shit that you're doing right now for us, you could probably find higher level, you not probably, you could find higher level shit on YouTube for free, right? But having somebody to actually sit down, go through it with you, break it down piece by piece to your level, like that's what people pay for, right? So it's the same thing with fitness. Like all the information you can find online for free, but it's having somebody actually hold you accountable, pushing you to do it, which is going to help you get to the next level. Because you already know that you need to be going to the gym and eating whole foods. You're just not fucking doing it. You haven't been doing it. You know you should be eating hot Cheetos and cupcakes every day, right? You just need a fucking plan. You need somebody to hold you to that plan. You need somebody to tweak the plan, and you need confidence in the plan that it works, right? You could Get some shit for free. You can have somebody else get some shit for free that you trust and tell you to do it, and you would probably do it. You have a higher likelihood of doing it if somebody you trust is giving you the free shit to do. Even though you could have got the same free shit, because somebody that you trust is telling you to do the same shit that you could have did for free, they're doing it for free, but they're giving it to you, you're gonna execute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just confidence. Tanner gave me like fucking 50 fucking videos to film and used Claude to generate that shit. He prompted it, generated with Claude. I could have did the same shit, but the difference is having the confidence that it's gonna work, right? If he generated it and he's done fucking 140 mil in sales, I trust him a lot more than I trust just me going in and fucking trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, all right. After we pitch, you're like, all right, is that something that you feel like you would benefit from and something you want to go ahead and do? They're like, well, it just depends on the price. And it's like, all right, well, price aside, like, is that something that you would benefit from? If it were $0 and something that you want to do, yes. All right. So now you got what tie down did you just get?
You believe.
And that's just the way that I verbalize it. You can verbalize it a little different if you want.
Definitely have to study this shit big time.
All right. Then we move to the price. Yeah. So what I do is I compare and contrast. um, so I'm like, all right. So let's get to the fun part, the numbers. So most in-person trainers they charge about $100 an hour. So if you go 2 to 3 times a week, it comes out to be about $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Now I don't charge that much, but I feel like I offer more because not only are you getting the workouts, the full blueprint, rather than 2 to 3 days a week, but you're also getting the nutrition, which is 90% of it. Most in-person trainers don't do that. Plus, you're getting the daily access to me, the community, the group calls, form checks. So I don't charge as much, but I feel like I offer more. So for 16 weeks, I charge 3K. For 6 months, I charge 4, and then for a year, I charge 6. So with where you're at, what length of time, as far as length of time working together, do you feel like would work best for you? Now, something that I've debated on, kind of shifting, and it's something that Amaris has already been implementing is if somebody has a certain goal. Um, if somebody has a certain goal, you can just pitch one offer, not one offer, but one time frame, right? So if somebody wants to lose 50 pounds, you can pitch a year and be like, all right, like this is what you need to do. And then if you need to essentially price drop, you can just go to the lower time frame of commitment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so let me hear you drop the price.
So I mean, I got 3 tiers. So how should I go about that?
What do you mean 3 tiers?
Like so I got one for 4 weeks
No,
and
you
eight
don't.
weeks.
Where did you get that from?
Chat GPT.
Why are we chat GPT in this when you've paid me thousands of dollars to tell you what to charge?
Well, I was trying to come up with some different prices in case like they couldn't afford the actual big price.
I think for us, at the end of the day, right, you want to be able to actually help these people. There's very like 4 weeks just doesn't give you much time to really give someone a transformation that's
No,
worth.
I had yeah, that was just an option, but I have a 16 weeks and the 8 weeks as well.
Yeah, it should just be 16 weeks, 6 months, a year.
Okay. So 16 weeks, 2K.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the price, we're gonna talk about my 16 weeks program, which is 2K. and
Why are you saying 2K?
2,000.
Why are you saying that?
That's the price of it.
What does it say?
Oh shit, 3K, 16 weeks. Yeah. Okay, so for the my pricing, I have the 16 weeks for 3K a month, or you can do the 6K for the year. Yeah, I'm ass, bro. I got a lot of shit to work on. I wrote this shit down the wrong. I would think I wrote down the wrong script, honestly.
All right. So after you pitch the price, you make all right. If you're just pitching one price, you can just say like, all right. So like, how do you want to proceed? Cash,
Okay.
credit. Um,
So for I got the 16 weeks. I got the 16 weeks for 3K a month, or if you want to go for the yearly, that's 6K. How would you like to go about that?
mm, I don't know. I feel like I need to think about it.
I mean, what's there to think about it? What would be your reasoning?
Javi, I feel like I just need to think about it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what's most important for me is that you actually, truly believe that what we do or what I do can actually help you achieve the goals you've set out for yourself.
Yeah, I do.
You do. Okay. Awesome. Why?
Um, well, just from everything that you explained, you just seem very thorough. I've seen the testimonials. Um, I don't know. I really like you. It's just, yeah, I need to think about it.
Okay. Is it something where if it was free, you'd do it today?
Um, yeah, probably.
Okay. So it's just the money piece.
Yeah.
Okay. And
All
is
right.
it okay? Yeah, we can stop it
Right.
there.
So we'll stop there. Right. So do you see how instead of being like when instead of responding to the objection with um, like just instantly combating it, he like went ahead and so what he did is he got a tie down. He was getting it tied down to finances only, right? Because you have all these different objections, right? If you do not isolate an objection, then you'll get multiple. They'll stack up, right? So he may handle this objection, but then he's going to get this objection after, right? So before he handles this, he wants to make sure that this is the only objection that he's going to get, right? So no, I get that. So the most important thing is just that you feel like this would work for you. Like, do you feel like you'd get the results that you're looking for? If the answer to that is no, then you need to handle the belief objection, right? Then once you handle that, then you can move on to the other ones. Um, if they're like yes, then it's like all right. And if it were free, like you go ahead and get started today. That's these two, right? Well, this one. And it's isolating this one.
Yeah. So it can only be one of those three, essentially. So what you're doing by isolating is eliminating each one until you find the one it is, right? So when I'm like, do you actually believe that what I walked you through can get you to achieve your goals? And they're like, yes, and I ask why, and they explain why, then I've eliminated this one. That's eliminated. I still have these two, right? So when I ask, got you, so if it was free, is it something you start today? Yes. Okay, so I've eliminated timing because I said if it's free, would you start today? Yes. Okay, so we know they can start today. Obviously, the program or the mentorship or the program's not free. So this is the only thing that's left. Since our program isn't free, they're not starting today. Or they're giving you an objection as to why they feel like they shouldn't start today. They need to think about it. So now I've isolated to where it's just finances. That's why I said, okay, so it's just the money piece. Yes. Okay. Now I know exactly what I'm handling. It's just the money. But if I get stopped at any of those steps, so if I'm like, hey, do you actually believe that what I laid out for you could actually work for you and get you towards those goals? If there's some shakiness there, some hesitation, or they say no, then it's belief. Then we have to handle that. We have to handle this first. If somehow you handle that, which I would see like objection handling's further down the line or something, but let's say you handle that and then you're like, okay, so now we know that they believe, right? Because you've handled that. If they're like, if I'm like, if it was free, something you would start today. If they're again hesitant or they say no, then it's probably timing. Not probably timing. Then it would be timing if you've already handled belief. Because if it was free, but they wouldn't start today, then it's just like, why wouldn't you start today if it's free? So you're just
Everybody else,
eliminating.
huh? Go ahead,
I
Augie.
was I was just wrapping it up as far as like you're just eliminating each one by one until you find which one it actually is.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. I'm
Okay.
just kind of overloading right now.
Jarvis, Stanton, does that make sense?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. That way you just broke it down, to be honest, because that explains the whole reason the way the call went with me and Javi.
Definitely. Bro, it's a science. Like that's what business is, a science, right? But even with the science, like it still takes, work and problem solving um but yeah, there's a science to this shit, bro. And
That makes a lot of sense. It gave me a very clear understanding exactly, and as to why, like I said, how the call went with the way me and Javi had it. That you want to delete that doubt or that fear and
mhm,
get them to keep going. Let's start now. Like let's not keep putting that shit on the hold. You feel me? Let's
right.
get it going and do what we need to do to make you achieve these goals that you are wanting to achieve. That's whatever's been putting it off these
Right.
past however long.
Exactly. Exactly. And the reason it's important to understand the framework and not just repeat what I say verbatim is because every call is going to be different. Yet you need to have some kind of system so that it's a repeatable process, right? That's what a system is, a repeatable process.
Right.
So if you're running every call and you're just kind of fucking slinging it and not really understanding the science behind it, you're just repeating what I'm saying. It's not really a system, right? So you need to have a repeatable process that you can go through, and it's adaptable depending on the person. So like you can have a script, right? But if somebody steps out of the script and you don't understand how to bring them back into your frame,
Yeah,
you're fucked, right? So you need to understand the framework. That's the most important
yeah.
thing.
I think I wrote down the wrong script too. That's what fucked me.
Yeah, but fuck the script. You need to understand the framework because if you
Right.
don't understand, because if you understand the framework, you can sell anything, right? When I first started selling business coaching, moving from fitness coaching, I had a script, and then I stepped away from the script and I just started selling using the framework, right? Because that's the biggest thing is that you're understanding how to
Yeah.
create these gaps, how to get these tie downs, and then when you understand that, you can sell anything. Doesn't matter what you're selling; it's going to be the same, right? So for example, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the videos where they're like, all right, sell me this pen, right? Or sell me this energy drink. Now, when people say that, when fucking Grant Cardone says that or Jeremy Lee Minor says that, what do most people do if you guys have seen those videos? They start selling. They start fucking hustling. They're on a fucking busy fucking corner trying to sell some ass. Hey, 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 you need some ass? Hey, hey, hey. That's not how you sell, though, right? You find out what somebody needs and then you pitch, right? Everybody leads with the pitch. Sell me this pen. Well, I don't even fucking know if you need the pen, right? What do? Right? You have to figure out like why they could possibly need it before you pitch. Because if you pitch without knowing what they need, it's like shooting into a fucking ocean, right? But if somebody tells you where to fucking aim, if somebody gives you the coordinates, it makes it 1,000 times easier to be on target. That's the best way I could explain that. It's like shooting into, if you're in the, I don't know, y'all aren't military, but yeah. It's like shooting an artillery shell at a grid square or taking a fucking sniper rifle and shooting at a fucking dome.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was studying the wrong one. I think I was looking at the messaging script and wrote all that shit down and was trying to look over it. And really, I was supposed to look for the actual sales script.
Yeah, so after you move through that, then we're to the financing, which the big ones are going to be firm, Sunbit, Zip, Afterpay, maybe Klarna. Most people, Klarna doesn't work, but I've seen some people get approved. But yeah, having them download the apps, create an account. Check purchase power. Piece them together. Does that make sense? That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, bet. All right, do you feel a little bit more confident going into this call?
It's a little bit better. I definitely have to study a lot more on this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is reps, bro. Like we spent tens of hours, maybe probably hundreds of, I don't know how many hours, I mean, probably hundreds of hours doing this, taking calls. Yeah, Hobby's probably spent hundreds of hours too, studying too. But taking calls, studying. So, like, you're not going to be as good, bro. But it's just like you got to get in the field, actually take these calls, and you got to actually, you have to study this shit, and you got to drill this shit, bro. Like, you should, like, I know Trey's his thing on WhatsApp is always be selling. That's real, bro. Like you need to be. This needs to stay on your mind. Like even in your conversations. Like, I'm always trying to sell, bro. You become a master manipulator once you become good at sales.
All this is new.
Yeah, but before we hop off, do y'all have any questions that I can give feedback on or?
Let me take a picture of this shit though.
No. No questions. Okay. Well, yeah, let me end this. Yeah.